your thoughts on the college football playoff national championship game. The Ohio State Buckeyes claim the title. They're the kings of the college football world. They take down Marcus Freeman, Riley Leonard, and a team that A&M saw to open the season in Atlanta last night.
Well, first of all, look at everybody Ohio State beat on the way. So they certainly earned it.
Mm-hmm.
Best team in college football, you can't deny that. And quite frankly, I think it struck me that they even lost a little bit of interest after they got 31-7, started missing some tackles. And I'll give Riley Leonard all kinds of credit for just willing his team back into it. But I think there was also an element of Ohio State looked like they, for a while, got complacent.
They kind of played with their food in the third and fourth quarter.
And Ohio State scored, I think, on their first 5 times they had the ball.
Yep.
And the 6th time, they were moving and had just had the long completion, and a guy punched the ball out. It was bam. A nanosecond later, and the guy, the receiver, whose name I can't recall right now, his knee would have been on the ground.
The fumble was sorry. That looks like it was Emeka Egbuka.
Okay. So the only other time that Ohio State didn't score, there was one time they
punted.
They punted when they tried to pass on 3rd and 3, I think it was, and it's incomplete. And I'm thinking, just line up and run on them. You're bigger than them. You got better running backs. But look, everybody knows I don't like Notre Dame if you listen to this show, but the fact is they would not quit. They showed a lot of heart. If you weren't impressed with Riley Leonard before, you certainly would have been impressed with the way he played last night.
What have you seen from Chris Beard's team that you think might give the Ags some trouble come Wednesday?
Yeah, you said it. This is going to absolutely be a dogfight, just because Chris Beard teams, as well as he's got Mark Adams back on his staff from whenever he was at Texas Tech. That's his defensive guru, and so that's exactly what they're going to be. They're going to be a defensive team. They held Alabama, who we know is averaging like 90-plus points a game. They held them to like 64 when they beat them by 10. So that's concerning to me because I know that we don't have the offense that Alabama has, right? And so that's definitely concerning. They're going to be a no-middle defense team, kind of like A&M in the sense of they're going to make you throw skip passes to the backside and just make you hit shots from outside. And so that is of concern to me as well, because we know that this A&M team is very inconsistent from beyond the arc and shooting. And so to me, it's like, where is the offense going to come from? Something that I would like to see from the Aggies is them getting out in transition and running and trying to get easy buckets before Ole Miss is able to set up that defense. Because if you know anything about Chris Beard and Mark Adams, you know that they're going to be a very, very good half-court defense team.
And they're so experienced. It's a lot of names that A&M fans might be familiar with, whether it be Brakefield or Murray or all of these different guys that really came into Reed Arena last year and beat you on your home floor. And now they're a year more experienced in this system with Chris Beard and the defensive system that's given so many teams troubles. A&M's really going to have to be on its A game to leave the pavilion with what I imagine will be a hard-fought SEC road victory. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of what's scary is some of these coaches, like I talked about Mark Pope the last time I was on, about how I feel like what he's doing at Kentucky so early on is just crazy, because you know that if any of those guys stay, and just even talking about this season, they're just going to continue to get better.
So what has you most intrigued about this specific ball club? Which areas are you most confident in, and which areas kind of give you some reason for concern before we get the game started up?
Yeah, I would tell you that I would say the talent is overwhelming for sure for Mike early in year one. I would say I'm most intrigued about, I say it every year, it begins and ends with starting pitching. So for me, Richard, it would be who kind of emerges themselves as a number 2 and number 3 starter. And what I'm most excited about is just the offensive talent. I mean, there's the 1 through 9. Truly, I don't think we've seen a talented a lineup as we're going to see in 25. So that gives me a lot of confidence in A&M's ability to score runs. And then kind of what I'm unsure of would be the back end of the bullpen. You know, we've been so spoiled the last couple of years when Evan Oshbeck comes into the game, just kind of felt it was lights out, game over, you know, and that's certainly not normal. And we're going to have to find somebody in the back end of that bullpen to handle the game at the highest points, you know, when the pressure's on.
You mentioned the starting pitching. This is really the first time since, you know, Asa Lacy back in the 2020 season when A&M has a bona fide ace returning for Friday nights, and Ryan Prager's that guy. Then you've got Justin Lanham, who really emerged in Omaha last year, really shut down Florida on back-to-back occasions. You've got transfer portal additions, whether it be Grant Cunningham or Miles Patton. Then, of course, don't forget some of the freshmen that we saw last year, whether it be a Caden Wilson, Isaac Morton. Those guys appear primed to challenge for a rotation spot too. So a lot of options for Michael Early and Jason Kelly as far as the pitching staff goes, right?
Yeah, you're exactly right, Richard. They're no short on talent for sure. You just kind of figure out, you know, who fits best in which role. You know, if you look back in Texas A&M baseball history, very, very rarely, you know, starting staff to begin the year is not even the same starting rotation when it gets to conference play. So you just kind of got to feel yourself out, feel a way out, and try to, like I said, see who fits best in each role, and that'll be the exciting part to see it unfold.
We as fans, I hope one day we as Aggie fans, but we as fans need to start, you know, recalibrate a little bit and understand that you could be Arizona State and beat Texas and be playing in the national semifinals when no one thought you could. You know, they didn't do it, but they certainly could have. Obviously, came down to 1 4th and 13. You can be Ohio State and really go. Well, I guess they went probably 1 and 2 in their 3 games that their fans gave a damn about this season. I know there was Indiana in there, but they gave a damn about Oregon, Penn State, and Michigan. And they went 1 and 2, including losing to your arch rival to end the season in really embarrassing fashion when you think about what your arch rival lost, including a head coach and the type of season they had, and still win a national title and do it in really impressive fashion. So, yes, the regular season matters. Obviously, you can go ask Ole Miss about that, or Alabama. You know, you don't lose to Vandy or Oklahoma. You don't lose to Oklahoma at the end, and you're getting in by losing to Vandy. So I do like the format. I do like the fact that a team like Ohio State, that's the best team in college football, just won the national title, and I don't think they would have made the playoffs. They wouldn't have. They wouldn't have made the playoffs this year. A 4-team playoff, they're not going to be in. So I like that. I like the fact that the best team won it. I like the fact that Arizona State could have beaten Texas and been the Cinderella story of the college football season. I like the fact that James Franklin had a couple of chances to, recreate his narrative, because every game you win in there is a big one. So I like all that. What I don't like is the way they do the seeding, and I do think that they need to. Look into changing that, where those teams like ASU and Boise are not getting by.